Hello and welcome to YouTube Rayon channel. This video is for class 7, chapter number 18, Wastewater Story, Science. All of us use water in our homes and make it dirty. Now, dirty, are you surprised, right? Rich in a lather mixed with oil, black brown water that goes down the drain from sink, showers, toilet, laundries is dirty. It is called wastewater. This used water should not be wasted. This used water should not be wasted. We must clean it up by removing pollutants. Have you ever thought where the wastewater goes and what happened to it? Now, in this we are going to study about how the wastewater treated by the municipality. Now, water is our life. Clean water is basic need of human being. Let us make a mind map of these many uses of the clean water. Say for example, we use for the bathing, cleaning, drinking, right? Many different purposes we use water in our day-to-day life. So, clean water that is fit for use is unfortunately not available to all. It has been reported that more than 1 billion of people have no access to safe drinking water. This accounts for a large number of water-related diseases and even deaths. People, even children, walk for several kilometers to collect the clean water. As you read in this chapter 16, it's not a serious matter. Is it not a serious matter for the human dignity? So, we do not see the problem as we living in a certain part where the water is available naturally or by the society, municipal corporations. But there are many places where the water is not available. Now you have studied in chapter 16 about the increased scarcity of the fresh water due to population growth, pollution, industrial development, mismanagement, and other factors. Realizing the urgency of the situations of the World Water Day on 22nd March 2005, the General Assembly of the United Nations proclaimed the period 2005 and 15 as the International Decade for Action on Water for Life. Why do you think that they need to celebrate this whole a day for Water for Life Day? You can understand the seriousness that because of the water is very precious in our life. All effort made during the decade aimed to reduce by half the number of people who do not have access to safe drinking water. There has been perceptible progress in the directions of aim, but still there is a lot to achieve. Cleaning of water is a process of removing pollutant before it enters the water body or is reused. This purpose of water treatment is commonly known as a sewage treatment. It takes place in several stages. So first of all, let's understand what is the sewage. Sewage is the wastewater released by the homes, industries, hospitals, offices, and other users. It also includes the rainwater that has run down the streets during a storm or a heavy rain. The water that washes off roads and rooftops carries a harmful substance with it. Sewage is a liquid waste. Most of it is a water which has dissolved and suspended impurities. So sewage means that impure water, right, that we release from our home after using it. Now in activity 18.2, it is described that we need to collect and understand the different types of the waste that are included into the water. There are organic impurities, inorganic impurities, nutrients, bacteria, and other microbes are present in the water that we have simply thrown after using it. Water freshens up an eventful journey. In a home or a public building, generally one set of pipe brings clean water and another set of pipe take away wastewaters. Imagine that we could see through the ground. We would see a network of big and small pipes called sewers, forming the sewages. It is like a transport system that carries sewages from the point of being produced to the point of disposal. That is a treatment plant. Manholes are located at every 50 to 60 meters in a sewage, at the junctions of two or more sewers, and at a point where there is a change in a direction. So you may find a big round leads on a road. They are manholes, and sometimes you might have seen people cleaning those manholes, removing the leads. In activity 18.3, it is said that you could see them working on the manholes. Now, treatment of polluted water. You need to perform the activity that is given here, and it will help you to understand the process that takes place wastewater treatment plant. First of all, they ask you to take a fresh water, right, and add some impurities in it, and then do the step-by-step process to clean the water. So also you need to take samples, right, at every stages, and to compare those stages and the samples with each other to concentrate to understand, right, the whole process. Now let's do the wastewater treatment plant procedures, how they do this cleaning of water or treating the water. Treatment of wastewater involves a physical, chemical and biological process which remove physical, chemicals and biological matters that contaminate the wastewater. Now first is the wastewater is passed through the bar screen. A large objects like a rags, sticks, scan, plastic, packets, napkins are removed. You can see here in 18.3 the bar screens are there from which the water is passing through. Second, the water then goes to a grid and the sand removal tank. The speed of the incoming wastewater is decreased to allow sand, grit and pebbles to settle down. So if you leave the water for a few minutes or a few hours, the hard material like a sand that settle down at the bottom. Third, the water is then allowed to settle in a large tank which is sloped towards the middle. Solid like a feces settle at the bottom and are removed with a scraper. This is the sludge. A skimmer removed the floatable solids like oil and grease. Water so cleared is called clarified water. The sludge is transferred to a separate tank where it is decomposed by the anaerobic bacteria. The biogas produced in the process can be used as a fuel or can be used to produce electricity. You already know about the biogas. Fourth, air is pumped into the clarified water to help the aerobic bacteria to grow. Bacteria consume human waste, food waste, soap and other unwanted matter still remaining in the clarified water. Then, after several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge. The water is then removed from a top. The activated sludge is about 97% of water. The water is removed by a sand, drying beds or machines. Dried sludge is used as a manure, returning organic matter and nutrition to the soil. The treated water has a very low level organic material and suspended matter. It is discharged into seawater or river or into the ground. Natural cleans it up further. Sometimes it may be necessary to disinfect the water with a chemical like a chlorine and ozone before releasing it into the distribution system. So this is the whole process of cleaning the water. Now what you can do for as a responsible citizen or become an active citizen. So wastewater generation is the natural part of human activity, but we can limit this activity. This type of waste and quantity of waste produced, often we have been repelled by offensive smell. The sight of open drain is disgusting. The situation worsens in the rainy seasons when the drains start overflowing. We have to wait through the mud pools on the roads. Most unhygienic and unsanitary conditions prevail. Flies, mosquitoes, and other insects breed in it. You can be an enlightened citizens. You can be aware citizens and approach the municipalities or the Gram Panchayat. Insist that the open drains be recovered. If sewage of any particular houses make the neighborhood dirty, you should request them to be more considerate about others' health. You should notice this all impurities or any actions. You can take an actions by giving suggestions to cover up the open drainage. Better housekeeping practice. On the other hand, one of the way to minimize the eliminate the waste pollutions at their resources is to see what you are releasing down the drain. Cooking oil, fats should not be thrown down the drain. They can be hardened and block the pipe in the open drain. The fact clog the soil pores, reducing its effectiveness in filtering the water. Throw oil and fats in the dustbin. Second, chemicals like paints, solvents, insecticides, mortar, oil resins may kill microbes that help purify waters. So do not throw them down the drain. Use themselves. Solid food remains. Soft toys, cotton sanitaries, towels, etc. should also be thrown in the dustbin. This waste choke the drain. They do not allow free flow of oxygen. This hampers the degradation process. So instead of throwing the hard dust, you can throw this to the dustbin. Sanitation and diseases. Poor sanitation contaminate the drinking water is the cause of a large number of diseases. Let us look at our country. A vast number of people are still without a sewage facility. So where do they relieve themselves? A large fractions of people defecate in the open area or on the dry river beds, on the railway tracks, near the fields, and many times directly in the water. Untreated human excreta is a health hazard. It may cause water pollution and soil pollution both. The surface, water and groundwater get polluted by these. Groundwater is a source of water for wells, tube wells, springs and many rivers, as you learned in chapter 16. Thus, it becomes the most common route for waterborne diseases. They include the cholera, typhoid, polio, meningitis, and hepatitis and dysentery. So you can see it's a very basic route. The sanitation is necessary to reduce the disease problem causing germs. Alternatively, arrangement for the sewage disposal. To improve the sanitation, the low-cost on-site sewage disposal systems are being encouraged. Examples are septical tanks, chemical toilets, compositing pits. Septic tanks are suitable for places where there is no sewage system, for hospitals, isolated buildings, or a cluster of 4 to 5 houses. Some organizations offer hygienic on-site human waste disposal technology. These toilets do not require scavenging. Excreta from the toilet seats flow through the covered drains into the biogas plant. The biogas produced is used as a source of energy. So this kind of the system can be placed. Sanitations at the public places in our country fairs are organized periodically. A large number of people participate in them. In the same way, railway stations, bus depots, airport, hospitals are very busy places. Thousands of people visiting them daily. So large amount of the waste is generated in their places. So here it must be disposed properly, otherwise epidemics could break out. The government has laid down certain standards of sanitations, but unfortunately they are not strictly enforced. However, all of you can contribute in maintaining the sanitations at public places. We should not scatter the litter anywhere. If there is a dustbin in a site, we should carry the litter home and throw it to dustbin. Conclusion: we have all to play a role in keeping our environment clean and healthy. You must realize that your responsibility in the maintaining the water source is in healthy states. Adopting a good sanitation practice should be our way of life as an agent of change. Your individual initiative will make a great difference and influence others with your energy, ideas, and optimization. A lot can be done if people work together. There's a great power in collective actions. That's the end of the chapter.